Halo Battle Royale reportedly canceled after years of work. Mysterious project no longer set for launch, it's claimed. This is reported by Tom Phillips, the editor-in-chief over at Eurogamer. And he says, the mysterious, long-rumored Halo Battle Royale project from series co-developer Certain Affinity is no longer in development, a new report has claimed. Speaking on the Xbox Era podcast, reliable insider, I don't even know, Special Nick? Oh, that makes sense. Okay, Special Nick said the game, codenamed Project Tatanka, has seemingly been canceled. While officially unannounced by Microsoft itself, Certain Affinity has discussed the project publicly in broad terms several times and said late in 2022 that it had been in the works for more than 2 years with nearly 100 people working on it. So since 2020, they've been working on this thing. 2020 with 100 people working on it. And apparently they're just walking away. The mention of the project followed an earlier promise by Certain Affinity that it was, quote, deepening, oh baby, its relationship with Halo series core developer 343 Industries, and that it had been entrusted with further evolving Halo Infinite in some new and exciting ways. The project was later discussed in a Bloomberg report on the future of 343 Industries, which stated that Tatanka had begun as a battle royale, but may evolve in different directions. Eurogame has contacted Microsoft for comment, but they have nothing else to say, at least as of yet. It's crazy. I think if this is true, I can't say I'm particularly shocked because, as people in chat are saying, like, oh no. Anyway, like that's kind of the general vibe with all of this. I think that not launching Halo Infinite with a battle royale was the first big mistake, because love it or hate it, battle royales just make lots of money. They just do. There's a huge audience for it, and it's kind of what people have expected as the standard multiplayer for like a big game that has some robust shooting mechanics. And honestly, with Halo Infinite, with the like grapple hook thing, I could see that making for a really, really fun battle royale. I really do. I think if there were a Halo Infinite battle royale, I would play it and I'd have a lot of fun doing it. So it's too bad to see it not actually come to fruition. At the same time, I think it's also a sort of great example of some of the downfalls and pitfalls of live service games, because as we saw with the launch of Halo Infinite, the core game, the narrative, the main story, really good. People loved it, like reviewed really well. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know if you guys played it, but I had a lot of fun with Halo Infinite's main story. I really liked it. And then we got to the multiplayer element, and the multiplayer was good, but the like post-launch support was laughable. It was ridiculous. Like, I understand it's very difficult, and a lot of devs were like, people just don't understand how difficult it is to make these games work in the long term, and I get that, but it's also like your job. It's the point. You're not entitled to my time. You're not entitled to me playing your game for weeks and weeks, months and months and years and spending lots of money on cosmetics. You have to earn that. You have to earn it. And they didn't earn it. They just didn't. Instead, they had a couple of cosmetics at launch, and then they had a couple of like little bitty things coming out. They had a terrible initial system for like XP and like rewarding the player for playing multiple games through. Because wasn't it based around like a sort of achievement system where they had almost randomly generated achievements you had to like conquer and get through, instead of just straight XP for like, oh, you killed this many players, congratulations, you get this payout of XP and you level up the battle pass or whatever this way, or whatever it would have been. Instead, it was like, okay, you have to run around and get 5 or 6 of these kills while sliding with a grenade or something. It was just ridiculous in the original launch version of Halo Infinite's multiplayer. So I think it makes sense that maybe they're struggling, because there just seems to be some difficulty with getting stuff done quickly and being hyper productive. Yeah, the side objectives are terrible. And I don't know how anybody thought that those were a good idea. Like, I feel like if you told anybody, any gamer that plays multiplayer games live, I think they all would have said, yeah, this just isn't really fun. Honestly, this really is just not that fun. And I think everybody would have been like, yep, totally agree. Get rid of that. It's bad. I really think like most people would just have told them that. But somehow they managed to get through all of development without anybody bringing it up. or they just didn't care. I don't know. Like normally with games, you can figure out why they've done certain things. Like you can understand, okay, this game is really bloated and has a lot of grind because they want you to go and buy these things. They want you to go and maybe buy the XP booster. They want you to go and do this or do that in this way. And that way you can make sure that everything works out, right? Like everybody will be happy. You'll make lots of money. Players will stay engaged and make sense. However, with this, there wasn't anything like that. Like there was no real excuse for it. It just didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense. Like it really didn't. There was no explanation for why it was done that way. There was no reason. It just sucked. And so everybody was just thoroughly confused because it's like normally we can figure out what the deal is, but this just doesn't seem to make any sense at all. So what are you going to do? So anyway, if this ends up being true, I can't say I'm shocked, but I guess rip to the idea of a Halo Battle Royale. It's too bad that it's dead, but maybe they learned their lessons, and whenever we get whatever the next Halo game is, they will have a much better plan put forward on day one for support for the live service element of the game. Because I love Halo. I love the mechanics of it. I think there's something very nostalgic about it as well. They just have to figure out how to support the game long term better than how they did it here, because it was a total disaster. Really too bad.
He took my thing.